with an interesting story. I live in O'Fallon, Missouri, which is 100 miles that way on I-70. And where it started for me is my husband and I asked the question 23 years ago, what is something O'Fallon needs that it doesn't have that would raise the moral fiber of the community? And the answer was, let's open a Christian bookstore. So we opened a Christian bookstore in O'Fallon 23 years ago, and life has been perfect ever since. Actually, we got it open. It was a fledgling business, and you know how hard it is in the first couple of years. And in the middle of that difficult time, the city of O'Fallon made a decision they would widen Main Street. So they shut it down altogether for 12 weeks before Christmas and put signs out on the interstate, I-70, that said, O'Fallon closed. And I had my first experience to observe the devastating effects that government can have on people, innocent people, who don't realize what's going to happen, and next thing you know, they're making a decision with no interest in how it's affecting other people. And the quickest way to bring people together is to take food off their table. And that's what brought the merchants together. There was this idea that, oh boy, we're all getting creamed together. This is not good. What are we going to do? And that was the beginning of the O'Fallon Business Association. Got together, tried to strategize, kind of like a tea party sort of thing, and said, we gotta do something. So I was asked to be the chairman of the legislative committee. Now you might, I didn't know what a legislative committee was back then. I didn't know who my city representatives were. I didn't know who my state representatives were. I knew who Volkmer was. He was the congressman. But beyond that, it was a blur. And so when I started going to the meetings, and I reported back every month on what slimy tricks they're coming up with next. That was my mission. So what I did, I ended up, after a year, faithfully going and learning who all the aldermen were. I had to read their name plaques, but you can figure it out. And I was giving the report to the O'Fallon Business Association, and I said, ultimately, folks, we cannot fix city government until we fix the anti-business people in those seats. And that's when somebody from across the room said, well, then why don't you run? And it was the first time I thought, well, why don't I run? You know what, you can't complain about government if you don't want to engage. We can't fix it in our lazy boy chair sitting at home. The remote control doesn't work for government. And can't change the channel. So it would be more comfortable for all of us to be sitting home in our jammies right now, watching American Idol. But we're not. We're here because we want to fix things. And you deserve to be applauded for that. We all are part of the solution now. And you're part of the solution just by coming out. So, we went, while I got elected to 5 terms on the O'Fallon Board of Aldermen, and then from there I saw the real problem is not city government, it's state government. So I got elected to state government, and once I got there I saw, no, the real problem is federal government. So, the truth is, all governments have the same problem, just in different proportions. It's money, it's greed, it's power, and all governments tend to be greedy and will seek to extract the maximum they can, and people, good-hearted people, may start off wanting to fix things, and it lasts until they get into the soup. And next thing you know, I've seen people change. And that's not serving us well. So I did spend 8 years in the Missouri House of Representatives. And the problem with that is we do have term limits, and I had to leave. But while I was there, I had an opportunity. Did you pass this? Or you're done?
Oh, that's ours.
That's yours?
You have a more
Take it.
professional looking one than me.
Ours is basically a piece of paper.
While I was there, I had an opportunity to observe close and personal the ugly underbelly of the beast. And I learned some interesting lessons that I came to share with you tonight, because the more we all go together, the more we're going to take responsibility for our government, and we can fix it. It was designed to be fixable by our remedy of electing good people to correct it. So there's this natural correction coming up in November, and this is our chance